This again keeps it possible for people who are working full-time jobs, have busy lives, to be able to keep chickens because they're not out there cleaning the coop all the time.
About a month ago, we met some new friends and they invited us over to play games and hang out, whole family. And we're sitting around the kitchen talking. I look out their back window and I see they have a nice chicken coop. I said, "Oh, hey, you guys have chickens too?" "No, we don't have chickens." "Oh, are you guys gonna get chickens soon or something?" "No." So did you used to have chicken? Why do you have a chicken coop?" She said, "Oh, well, we were thinking about it." "Oh, what happened?" So she says, "Well, our neighbor was moving and he had a chicken coop and he wanted to get rid of it real quick. And so we were all excited and we took it. We were all excited about chickens. And then we started talking to our neighbors and friends who had chickens. And they basically talked us out of it. They said it's so much work and the predator pressure and your chickens end up dying and all of this stuff. And her friends had told her all the things that make chicken keeping hard. And I was like, well, man, if you just had the right coop and the right setup, all that stuff, really wouldn't be a problem. And it's that story and stories like it are why I decided to go ahead and build plans for my coop. A lot of people have asked me for plans for my coop and I just haven't had time to get around to it. It's really not that much work if you have a good foundation. So I went ahead and made plans so that you guys can build your own coop too. One that is gonna keep your chickens safe from predators, one that's gonna keep them healthy so you're not fighting disease, one that's low maintenance, doesn't take but a few minutes a week to keep it going. And so I made plans. I finally made plans for my coop to share with you guys. And I want to tell you a little bit more about it right now. So I've been working for months on these plans and I finally have them ready for you guys. I'm really excited about them. So I built this coop about 3 years ago. And when I did it, I didn't have any plans to go off of. I just had a general sketch that I kind of worked from. And then I didn't record all of it as well. And so I didn't really have something I could put together for you guys to be able to rebuild what I made. So it's taken a lot of time, a lot of hours and months to make a proper drawing of this and then create from that plans that you guys could then rebuild this with. I'm really happy with the way it came out. You can see the plans are fairly simple, pretty straightforward. Each page, there's a lot of pages, but each page only requires a few steps. I did make a few alterations to it. My coop is 6 foot by 8 foot. I made the plans for an 8 foot by 8 foot just because the material is pretty much the same for 6 by 8 as it is for an 8 by 8. So I went ahead and made it the full dimensions of 2 sheets of plywood that maximizes the size without really adding any additional cost. So I changed just a few little things here and there just to make it easier to build and improve the functionality a bit, but by and large, the coop is almost exactly the same as what I have. It's modeled after the Carolina style coop, which means it uses the deep litter method. So what you do is about every month or so, you add in another inch or so of wood chips on top of the original wood chips you put in. And so you're just adding an inch, inch and a half of wood chips every month. And after about 6 to 9 months, when it gets full, then you clean it out. And so there's just one big clean out twice a year. The wood chips absorb the ammonia and the smell and kind of actually start to break down a little bit inside of the coop. And so the smell never really becomes an issue. This again keeps it possible for people who are working full-time jobs, have busy lives, to be able to keep chickens because they're not out there cleaning the coop all the time. And the maintenance is just really, really minimal. One of the other features that I think is unique about my coop that I've seen some do, but most don't, is they elevate the coop a couple of feet. And I think that is just so important. It gives you so much extra ceiling coverage to get your chickens out of the rain, out of the weather without having to build a whole nother structure. So you're basically creating 2 roofs in one by just elevating the whole coop. In addition to that, it makes clean out so much easier because you can just put a wheelbarrow right up next to it and just rake it out, or a box or whatever, rake out the material right into the box without having to scoop and break your back. So the whole thing is elevated up about 2 feet and it's just perfect. Another unique feature to this coop, I think, is the windows. The window panels, you can take them out and remove them in the summertime when it's really hot and you need a lot of ventilation through there. But these panels, I mean, they're just simple. You just lift them up, rotate them out, and pull them out and set them aside. And then in the winter time, when it's starting to get cold, the storms are starting to get bad, you can just pop them in really quick, It lowers the amount of cross breeze for the chickens, keeps them warmer. You can regulate the ventilation within the coop really, really well, depending on your circumstances, depending on the weather, the chicken's needs, the kinds of chickens you have. All of that is very, very flexible with this kind of coop and very, very simple to use. When you take the windows off, there's still screens behind them, hardware cloth screens that protect from the predators. So you can leave the windows open all night without any concern about predators getting in. Another big mistake that I see with chicken coops is they tend to make the nesting boxes open from the top, which is really stressful to the hens when they're laying there and all of a sudden the top something lifts off the top and there's this big predator looking thing over top of them. Most of their predators are coming from above, whether it's, a dog attacking them from the top or a hawk flying in or an owl or whatever. Their predators are by and large coming from the top. A much better way is to have the door drop down from the side, and then you're coming at them from a less threatening angle. It's not quite as stressful for them to have the door drop down from the side. Plus, you're not trying to latch it and hold it up. You just set it down, reach in, get the eggs. You can do your clean out. It's a lot easier to clean out. You just pick up and pull the hay out or the straw or whatever you're using. It's much, much easier than trying to finagle it from the top, and the eggs are easier to collect, all of that. So I've made two different options within the plans for the nesting boxes. You can either get off the shelf roll out nesting boxes if you're concerned with dirty eggs. You don't have to clean them all the time. You can get some of these nesting boxes off of Amazon, and they'll just slide right into place, and the door will close up and you won't even see them. On the other hand, if you want to try and save some money and you don't care about the rollout feature, then you can do what I've done and just have standard nesting boxes and use straw and hay in there. As far as safety goes, this coop I think is just top notch. Really, no predators are going to be able to get in here. Snakes, owls, hawks, foxes, raccoons, skunks, possums, none of those guys are going to be able to get in here. Really, the only thing I think that could get in here would be a really hungry bear. Uh, there's not much that's going to stop. I did have a YouTuber reach out to me and showed me his bear-proof chicken coop, which I was like, no way. And then he showed it to me, and it was like 2-inch steel tubing with steel plating and like diamond plate. I was like, dude, you spent way too much on this coop, but it is really cool. But apart from that guy's coop, there's not really a chicken coop that's bear proof. If a bear wants to get in, it's going to get in. Uh, Electricity pretty much is the only way that you're going to maybe keep a bear out if it's really hungry. As always, I recommend an automatic chicken door. I use the Run chicken door. I'm super happy with it. I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'm also really interested to know about the omelet Wi-Fi door. I don't have it yet. I'm thinking about getting it just so I can check and see if the door is open or closed through the Wi-Fi. Right now I use a security camera to check it, but I would love to be able to get a notice on my phone that says, hey, your door's left open or something happened, something's in the way. And I think the omelet door does that. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description to my Etsy shop where you can buy the plans. I'll also leave links to the automatic doors in the description below, as well as the rollout nesting boxes and any other materials and tools that I use for this build. But happy building and good luck.